Welcome to Ditch the Classroom. This is your host, Ariana Vernier, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm a teacher turned business coach who is so passionate about helping fellow mamas like you ditch the classroom and pursue your big, hairy, scary dreams. Imagine a life where you could still impact the world, but do so while following your passions and spending more time with your babies. In Ditch the Classroom, we'll explore ways you can do just that. Myself, guest experts, and amazing teachers who have also built a successful business will share tools, tips, and resources to help you ditch the classroom too. Are you ready? Here we go. Before we hop into today's episode, I had to let you in on something special I created just for you. If you've been wondering if freelancing or virtual assistance is right for you and just want to get your feet wet to see if it's a good fit, then you need my Ditch the Classroom toolkit. This toolkit comes with 2 video modules to help you figure out what services you want to offer, as well as how to package your services in a way that will help you attract clients quickly and replace your income faster. There are also 2 special bonuses included. Bonus number 1 is the Set Your Prices video, so you can take the guesswork out of what to charge. Bonus number 2 is the Top 8 Places to Find Paying Clients guide. Right now, you can grab the Ditch the Classroom toolkit and both bonuses for a steal of a price, only $27. But hurry up, because this amazing discounted price won't last long. You can grab your spot at arianavernier.com/ditch-the-classroom or find the link in the show notes. All right, let's get to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ditch the Classroom podcast. Very excited to have y'all here with me this week. We have a special guest sharing her Ditch the Classroom journey. We have Brandi Snowberger. She was a second grade teacher for 18 years, and she's now an interior decorator. So welcome, Brandi.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. I like to start these episodes just with you sharing a little bit about your teaching journey, what made you want to be a teacher, and how you got to where you are now.
Okay, so I started my teaching journey. I substituted for about 2 years, and then I got my full-time teaching job as a second grade teacher, and I have been there for about the past 18 years. So I've been teaching for about a total of almost 20 years, and I've been in the same classroom since the start. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Going down the same hallway every day, opening the same door. And most of my coworkers a couple of them have been there from the start. So 20 years.
That's awesome. You're amazing for sticking it out that long. So what led you to want to ditch the classroom now after 20 years? What's kind of changed for you?
So the past couple years, I've had this little voice in my head kind of, saying, not that it didn't feel right, but something was changing. I used to, love going to school and making lesson plans and, just doing everything that went along with the job. And the past couple of years, I just kind of noticed a change, and just the little voice in my head saying, are you really loving this as much as you used to? And if I was being honest with myself, I knew that was a no, but I kind of tried to quiet that voice in my head because I thought this is just me, and this is what I was supposed to be doing. And maybe I was just kind of going through a little funk or something that I would certainly snap out of, but it didn't really go away. And so I would kind of try to say, oh, maybe that was just a bad year or a bad class, and, try to kind of rationalize it. But when all was said and done, I still had that voice in my head, and it wasn't going away. And I have my 2 little ones at home, and one's in second grade and one will be in kindergarten next year.
Aww.
And, my husband, he works out of town all week. So I am kind of a single mom during the week. And so juggling all of that by myself was really starting to feel like a lot. And I felt like I was stressed. Teaching is stressful. I mean, teaching was stressful, and being by myself all the time was stressful, just all of these things. And I felt like I was really not being the best person that I could be, to be honest. I was kind of grumpy and tired, and, not giving my kids the best mom I felt like that they could have, and the best wife that I could be, and friend, and just kind of all around. I just felt really just kind of tapped out in all areas. Mm-hmm. And after teaching all day, when you come home, you don't have a lot left to give. That's how I was feeling. And I want to be there for my kids and have all that extra to give. Those two things combined, I think, kind of led me to start to think that maybe there was something else, and maybe there was, something else that I could do that I was good at, and that would allow me kind of like that freedom to, just wake up with my kiddos, give them breakfast, and not have all this rush, go kind of thing that I had to endure being at work every day, of course, and just kind of enjoy those little times with them that I wasn't getting, and have more for them when I came home. So that in the past couple of years has kind of led me to want to ditch the classroom.
Yeah, I relate to you so much, and just feeling like taking in that stress and just feeling exhausted, and not feeling like you have enough of yourself to give to the people who are most important. Like, yes, our students are so important to us, but our kids and our spouses, those are like number one priority. And when you don't have enough left to give to them, it's really hard. So I really relate to you with that.
Yeah, it is really hard. Yep. So I'm looking forward to, that extra time, and hopefully this will allow me to give more and be that person.
Yeah. So can you share a little bit about your journey from deciding you were ready to leave to where you are now?
Yeah. So it took me a long time to decide to leave. Of course, like I mentioned before, it was kind of, I would say, something I've been kind of feeling for, I would say, about 3 years. And then just in the past year, really taking it seriously, I guess you could say, and looking at what do I need to do before I leave, and what might it look like, and what can I do, and all of those things. So in the past year, I've just kind of been sorting through all that. And right now, I'm still teaching. I put my resignation in, and I will be done at the end of this year.
I want to celebrate you for that. Is so awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, honestly. And sitting down with my principal and telling him that, and just saying it out loud, was really hard. It made it very real. So that was just a really difficult time to actually start to say it out loud. And all my coworkers are like, "Oh, congratulations." And, they're all kind of like, "We're jealous," but so that's kind of where I am now. Everybody's just hearing about my resignation, and I'm just kind of having to take that all in. And, now I have a couple weeks of school left, and I'm just really trying to enjoy my class. They're a wonderful group of kiddos. So it's a great way to go out, but I'm trying to enjoy them, and in my head, just kind of also planning for what's coming up next. So it's a lot to take in.
You're my first guest that is still kind of in the process of ditching. So I think that's really cool to get kind of your perspective, as you've already told them you're leaving, mm-hmm. And you're just kind of taking that first big step out. So I really appreciate you being open about how it's impacting you. I know when I left my classroom, it's a hard decision, because this is, at least I know for me personally, and I think you would feel the same, is we we see ourselves as teachers, and to step out of that role and try to envision ourselves as something else can be pretty challenging. And you don't ever want to leave your students, but at the same time, like I said, you have to be able to be the person that you want to be for your family.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. But yeah, you're right. Like, I feel like I'm kind of having an identity crisis a little bit, right? Because, I've always thought I'm a teacher. That's just who I am. And it's kind of difficult to accept that that's not really part of me anymore, or won't be. So a little bit of that. Yeah, that's definitely a struggle for sure. Like, I don't know. It'll be fine. It's just saying it out loud, accepting it, and understanding that it's going to be okay, and that I can be something else as well.
So what brought you how did you get into becoming an interior decorator?
So, I've always loved, decorate. I've always loved looking at beautiful spaces and homes, and I've always been interested in that. I'd watch a lot of HGTV, of course, but it never really dawned on me that maybe I could do that. And so I started to listen to some different design podcasts and things like that, and started to listen to some stories of other people who had quit their 9 to 5 and took a risk and, started their own design or decorating business and had great success with it. And I, after listening to several of those stories several times repeatedly, I was just started to think like, maybe I could do this. So I think that really, kind of opened my eyes to what could be. But during COVID, we had a lot of virtual learning. So I was teaching from home and still very busy. And I had my kiddos here, but it allowed me some time to take some online classes and, just take some classes that certified me as an interior decorator. So as much as I hate COVID, and we all do, it really was kind of a blessing in disguise at that point, because I was able to take the time to do that. And so once I got that degree, I thought, well, I'm just going to just go for this and see what happens. So one thing led to another. You've got a website, and that's just kind of how it all started. I just thought, I'm just going to give this a whirl and see what happens. So it was, it's a side hustle. It was in my mind, I'm like, this is just going to be a side hustle for now. And then, of course, it's going to be more than a side hustle here shortly. But in my mind, when I first started, I thought, oh, this will just be kind of something I do on the side for fun and see what happens.
That's so exciting, though, that you're taking that leap. And I'm excited to see where your journey goes, not only because you're now a guest on the podcast, but for the listeners to know, I designed Brandi's website for her interior decorating business. So I'm really, really excited to just see what happens with your new business. And I believe in you so much. Your work is gorgeous. We'll definitely be giving the listeners a chance to go follow you and see your work. But I know you're going to do some amazing things with it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I have to say, yes, you did an amazing job on my website. And,
thank you.
When I found you, this is kind of maybe something we'll talk a little bit more here coming up, but I think it was in the Facebook group, I think it was the Boss Moms group, or one of the groups, if I'm not mistaken. And when I was asking for help on my website, I had so many people interested in helping. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to make this, decision on who's going to help me? But when I saw that you were a teacher and everything, and you ditched your classroom and started to do what you do, I was just so inspired by that. And so you have actually been one of the people that have kind of inspired me to kind of take the leap, like it's possible. So I do appreciate that. But
Making my heart smile.
Yeah. Aw.
So what would you say is the biggest thing that you had to overcome in your digital classroom journey?
So the biggest thing to overcome, I think, is just overcoming the fear of failure and trusting that everything is going to be okay. Because as a teacher, I showed up and taught my kids and, got paid, and I was very comfortable in that position. After doing it for so long, it's never easy. It's super challenging every day, but you become comfortable and you know what's expected and how to do it. And so I think for me to just trust that it's okay to take this leap, and it's okay to maybe have it not be okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm going to try this out, and if it's not okay, that's okay too. And something else will come along, or it'll work out in its own way. So I think for me, the biggest leap was just saying, I'm going to try this, and whatever happens, happens, and I will be okay. So, and my husband was telling me, I've been talking about it for the past year and just struggling with that. And he would keep saying, Brandi, you just need to do this. You just need to do it. So was giving me the go ahead and the confidence, but I was still struggling with saying, okay, I'm just going to give it a whirl. So I think that was definitely the biggest struggle.
Yeah. I don't think I have an entire episode about this. I don't think God places dreams on our hearts for no reason. I think we're meant to follow them. And so you feeling this call into interior decorating, there's a reason for it. That's where you're meant to be. Mm-hmm. So I really think you're going to do, like I said, you're going to do amazing things with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what are you most excited for? How do you want to structure your day once you leave? What are you just so excited for about becoming officially an interior decorator?
I'm just really excited to, I mentioned earlier, just have more time with my kids. I'm excited to just kind of wake up, and obviously still have to get them ready for school, but take them to the bus stop or drive them to school if I'm going to drive them to school. And I'm just really excited for that flexibility, I think, and freedom to have that extra time and less stress and rush and go and everything that's involved in that. I think the flexible schedule I'm really looking forward to, because if I needed to take a day off as a teacher, it was hard. You have to do sub plans, and it's just easier to be there. Or if one of my kids was sick, sometimes I was still going into school and having, somebody else watch them or something. I think just that. I'm really looking forward to that flexibility and freedom in my schedule, for sure. I'm certain I will be super busy and stressed out just in a different way, but I can make my own schedule, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Yeah. So are there any resources that helped you take the leap out of teaching?
I listened to a lot of podcasts, and so of course one of them was the one that you are doing right now with me, Ditch the Classroom, which I never knew existed. I'm like, is this a real thing? I can't believe there's other people like me that are like talking about, this thing. But so yeah, I mean, Ditch the Classroom. I listened to quite a few of the episodes there with you, and got inspired. The Kate Show, which is with Kate the Socialite. I listened to a lot of her episodes. These are just ones that kind of help me understand either the business side of design and decorating or the actual decorating side. And then also the other one podcast, A Well-Designed Business with Luann Nigara, was super helpful. She has a lot of designers on there, like I said before, were just inspired and quit their 9-to-5. And so I would listen to those episodes repeatedly. Some other things, just I think in general, like the Facebook groups, like the Boss Moms group, where I was just kind of creeping in the Boss Moms group on other women who just were so inspiring that had all kinds of different jobs. And I'm like, wow, like I could do this, that was inspiring. And Claire Jefford has a group. She's a designer. Interior Design Business Strategies was really kind of something that I was reading all the time to just learn about, what this whole decorating world was like, and kind of help me understand that maybe I could do it. So, and I think just, kind of like I said before, looking at other people who have done it and been successful, a couple other teacher friends that I know have done it and been successful. So it's nice to talk to them as well and look at, they did it and they have other successful careers. So that kind of helped me as well. And then just, my family and everybody has been super supportive, even when I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is never going to work. They would just, tell me give it a whirl. It's going to be fine. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing those resources with us.
Yeah.
So I want to wrap up this episode the way that I always do with my favorite question. If someone wanted to start their digital classroom journey, but they just felt too overwhelmed, what would you tell them?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a good question. I would probably say to trust your gut and don't ignore that voice in your head that's kind of telling you that this might not be right anymore, because it probably won't go away. And you have to be honest with yourself, I think, to be happy. And so I would say acknowledge that little voice in your head and just trust that whatever it is that you are going to do, that it can work. And maybe just, come up with a plan, come up with a plan and write it down. Like I would write a lot of things down. I had a notebook would just write everything down and kind of come up with a plan. Maybe just little steps at a time. Like, what do I need to do first to, get this going? Like one step at a time, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow and I've got to do X, Y, and Z or whatever to make something else happen. But yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot to take in, but I would say trust your gut, listen to your heart, and listen to the other people around you too, because they can kind of see it better than you can sometimes when you're in it. And like I said, as teachers, I think it's like our identity, and it's hard to like step out of that for a minute and think about like, this is your life and you deserve to be happy. And there is another world outside the classroom, and that could be you. So did that answer the question? That was a lot.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, you just have to believe in yourself, know that this is where you're meant to go. And you have to write down your steps and we're teachers, we're good at backwards designing towards the goals that we need our students to get to. And that's the same thing you have to do with your digital classroom journey. Where do you want to be? Backwards design. What steps do you need to take to get there?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it has been such a pleasure having you on today. Where can my listeners come find you, connect with you, become your best friend, and all the things?
So they can connect with me. My website is www.brandilyninteriors.com. Brandi with an I, Lynn with one N.
I'll have it linked in the show notes.
Oh, okay, good. And then Instagram is just at Brandi Lynn Interiors.
Perfect. Well, like I said, it has just been amazing having you on and sharing your journey in real time with us, because you only have, a couple weeks left?
I'm not counting down or anything, but I think I want to say 21 days.
Wow, so soon. I think actually this episode will come out probably right about the time you're leaving. So
okay. Oh, that'll be perfect timing. Good. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and just, everything you've done for, teachers and getting this word out, and all your help with me and my website. Truly appreciate it. And Yeah, this was fun. Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to leave a review on the podcast if you're loving the show. Go show Brandi some love. You can check the show notes to find her links where to connect with her. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Before you go, make sure you take a minute to subscribe to the show, leave a rating and review, and check out the show notes for a free gift to help you ditch the classroom. If you loved today's episode, can you help me share the message by taking a screenshot, tagging me on Instagram @ariana.vernier, and sharing it with your friends so we can help more mamas ditch the classroom and follow their dreams. Until next week, y'all, keep following the dreams that were placed in your heart so you too can ditch the classroom.